The top stories. Pastors called in after so-called demonic board game disturbs students. NUPW backs further customs agitation. And we have further reaction to the FIFA scandal fallout. Welcome to Nation News for Thursday, May the 27th, 2015. Clerics were called into the Lawrence T. Gay Primary School to pray for students who were behaving a little strangely after playing a Ouija board-inspired game called the Charlie Charlie Challenge. Some students were seen crying or exhibiting signs of anxiety after playing the game, which allegedly invokes a not-so-nice Mexican spirit named Charlie that some say is demonic. It is apparently very popular on social media. Lawrence T. Gay Principal Beverly Paris told the children they should not play the game and then invited one of her teachers, who was a pastor, to pray for the children. He was followed by other religious ministers who visited the Spooners Hill School for just over an hour. Acting Chief Education Officer Karen Best confirmed that the Ministry of Education was aware of the game's popularity and was investigating. The National Union of Public Workers says its National Council has given its approval for the leadership to do whatever it takes to back increasingly restive customs officers. President Akani McDowell told Nation News this includes those officers who do not want to go over to the Barbados Revenue Authority. He said they will be requesting more information on the proposed transition process and areas such as job descriptions, salaries, and positions under the Revenue Authority. Customs officers instituted a go-slow 2 weeks ago to the consternation of the business community, which says increased costs will have to be passed on to consumers. The workers are adamant that they will not be going over to the authority unless all the temporary officers are appointed. Barbados should consider setting up a special court to deal with commercial and financial issues. The suggestion has come from Pamela Coke Hamilton, the Executive Director of the Barbados-based Caribbean Export. Speaking to Nation News after she addressed local business people on Wednesday, she said the court would make it easier to do business in the island.
But the truth is, where it comes down to dollars and cents, the quicker something can move through the system, the better it is going to be economically for everybody involved. And so if there's a possibility of setting up a separate court system, actually the world leader on trust is a member of the court, of the Caribbean Court of Justice. So we actually have somebody who is a specialist in the region who could be called upon to help us with the establishment of such a court. So I think it's something we ought to consider. It may need to be done. It could be done at the Barbados level, or it could be done at the regional level. But I think it would be important to set up something like that to enable the process to be more quickly addressed, rather than 1,340 days for a contract to be seen through, and that's at the best. It could be worse.
Members of the Queen's College Association marked what would have been the 100th birthday of celebrated educator and dramatist Daphne Joseph Hackett on Wednesday with a wreath-laying ceremony at her gravesite in Westbury Cemetery. QC Principal David Brown lauded the organizers of the initiative, saying the society doesn't honor those who have gone before.
We developed in Barbados this thing now where we don't pay much respect to those who went before us, and this ceremony be one of those occasions where we remember her. I hope it will be bigger and better next year, or other time when you decide to celebrate it. Yes. I'm sure if you had to go to Queen's College now and ask the children there who is Daphne Joseph Hackett, they will tell you they don't know. That's very sad. Mm-hmm. That's a sad indictment on all of us for not highlighting her in that way.
Such was her contribution to the dramatic arts that the theatre in Queen's Park was named after her. After 4 years, Leah Marville has relinquished the Miss Barbados World franchise. However, this does not affect the reign of current Miss Barbados World, Zoe Trotman. Ms. Marville, a former Miss Barbados World herself, said every year was a struggle to stage the pageant, which is heavily dependent on sponsorship. Miss World Limited will determine who will be the next franchise holder. The Renewable Energy Teaching and Research Lab at UWI has received 5 mobile training toolkits from the German Agency for International Cooperation. Lecturer Dr. Thomas Rogers said they will be used in the teaching of solar energy systems.
Solar PV has come a long way in recent years in Barbados. We're now up to over 7 megawatts of installed capacity, which is really phenomenal rate of progress. And a recent study by Barbados Light and Power said that we can go up to 65 megawatts, which is going to be as much as 20% of the nation's energy from solar power in what could be a relatively short time. So having these training toolkits here is going to help us increase the training capacity and the installation capacity.
In sport, former General Secretary of the Barbados Football Association, Adrian Donovan, says he's in a state of shock after hearing that CONCACAF President Jeffrey Webb is among those arrested in the latest FIFA ethics scandal. He told Nation News he was surprised because the region had made a lot of strides internationally under Mr. Webb's leadership. The former senior national coach said that what makes the arrest even more surprising is that since Webb took over from Austin Jack Warner as CONCACAF president, he put a number of measures in place to bring greater transparency and accountability to the sport. Meantime, Trinidad and Tobago's Attorney General Garvin Nicholas says the extradition process has begun for former FIFA Vice President Warner to face charges of racketeering and corruption in the United States. And finally, a couple in Seattle in the United States say a burglar stole a pair of sunglasses from their car but ignored something far more valuable, a US $1 million winning lottery ticket. The couple, who requested anonymity, said they forgot to check the numbers on their Powerball ticket after it failed to win the $350 million jackpot in February's drawing. They said the ticket sat in their car for about 3 months. Someone broke into our car a few weeks ago and stole a pair of sunglasses, the couple said. The stolen sunglasses were actually sitting atop the winning ticket. What a close call, indeed. The couple checked the numbers on the ticket May the 14th and discovered they had won a $1 million second chance prize. The burglar, meanwhile, will have to make do with a pair of used sunglasses. And that's Nation News for Thursday. For more, log on to nationnews.com as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And remember to pick up your Weekend Nation on Friday or subscribe to our e-paper.